This particular part of communication revolves around confidence, being confident. We are exhibiting and displaying something that is attractive. Confidence is a very powerful source of communication. As we had spoke at the very beginning of the series of communication, it wasn't just words that is communication. Matter of fact, vast majority of communication is not words, and certainly tonality plays a very large plays a role in it. But confidence is a big thing that plays a big role in communication as well. And, I'm reminded of many different scenarios. And there was a time where my confidence was not very good. And I wasn't that I was not confident in my ability in doing business. I always felt very confident in terms of business. I was good at building businesses and enjoyed it, loved it. But I wasn't confident in myself when around people. So that oftentimes meant to people, well, this guy isn't confident in business, or he's not confident in, a number of different things, which wasn't true, but that's what they read when my lack of confidence was displayed when and while around people. So as my confidence grew and developed and continued becoming more and more that I could show my confidence without trying to, it just happened because my confidence became better and became more. But then there was people that didn't necessarily like that. They really they liked this guy that they got to know before his confidence got better. And some of the people did it for self-gain. Some of it did it for whatever reason. People weren't very proud of confidence continuing to become more powerful in this person's life. Be careful. That isn't necessarily because people want to take advantage of you. Sometimes it's because they don't like change. And they liked you the way you were before you had confidence. And so you're different. You're no longer the person they knew. And so therefore they feel challenged, and they would rather have the old person. But you must not quit growing. You must continue developing confidence. You must continue developing yourself in all areas and move up. Yes, even if it takes people that at one point were close to you and moves them away, keep growing. Keep developing. The people that truly want to see you successful will get excited about you developing confidence. They will get excited about you moving up. When you speak a little bit differently, they'll notice it. They'll say something like, dude, I hadn't heard you say that ever. This is incredible. You have grown. You've developed yourself. You're no longer the person you used to be. That's exciting. When you have a gem like that in your life, hang on to those people. Kind of move away from the people that treat you like they did when you had no confidence. Next is, I'm reminded of the story of Gideon. When he was asked by the angel to lead the Israelites out, he was not confident in himself at all. He immediately voiced that. He was very quick about saying he was the least of those and did not think he had what he took to do this and really wanted no part of it. But the angel, being prompted to speak what God tells him to, said, but you are a man of valor. Even though he might not have immediately changed his outward expressions, I'll guarantee you that played a role in how he handled himself and how he walked and talked, because it started to build his confidence. He started becoming more and more confident in himself. And, of course, he asked for signs, and even at one point he was fearful the angel would get angry with him if he asked for another sign, but he asked for another sign anyway. It built his confidence. I'm reminded of Moses, having to run off because prematurely tried to do what he knew he was called to do, and certainly lost his confidence. But when he was asked to go, he tried to make every excuse in the book, including saying that he can't talk. Has anybody ever said that? Of course. Most great speakers said that at one point in time in their life. They didn't think they had what he took, and they said things like, I can't talk, or who am I, or the list goes on. There's a whole bunch of things. I don't want to try to recall all the different things that scarcity-minded people might have said at that time, or people having the lack of confidence. But God gets frustrated with him and says, who made you and your ability to speak? Then he bypasses his excuses and says, well, use your brother Aaron, he can speak. He didn't let that lack of confidence keep him from serving people. Are you allowing your lack of confidence from serving people, from making that sale or talking to somebody that needs help, or just standing up in sheer confidence in the face of adversity? What are you doing? What are you speaking with your confidence communication? How am I speaking with my confidence communication? Yes, there's times where I aggravate people when I exhibit confidence, and it transcends beyond what I used to have and maybe beyond what they think is right for that particular circumstance. But we get to be very careful, because there's times where people get to feeling so much confidence, they allow it to become cockiness, and they allow it to become arrogance. And when they do that, it's terrible. I don't think you can create a drink that would taste equal to a person that is just outright cocky and arrogant. No fun to be around those people. So confidence isn't that. It isn't arrogance. However, let me be very clear. When your confidence grows, there will be people that will interpret it as arrogance and cockiness. So sometimes that just happens. We must deal with it and move on. Just keep going. We can't stop or allow that to slow us down. So the message this morning on the series of communication is confidence. Creating, exhibiting, displaying confidence that you have in yourself, in what you do, and just in life in general. Life is short. We get to be all that God has called us to be in every area of life, and there's people that will be offended by it. We must be aware of that. Yes, the scripture does say to not offend those around us or something of that nature. Now, that's not verbatim. I'm not sure exactly how it's word for word how it says. But let me also be very clear. When you're doing what's right, you must not be aware of who all or care how many are offended. Let me tell you, when Jesus walked into the synagogue there and then grabs a stick and starts whipping these people and throwing the tables over, he wasn't too concerned about the people that were offended by him. Sometimes when he called them, one particular place he called them vipers, and he wasn't too concerned. He did it with great confidence. Wasn't too concerned about how offended some people were about that. We get to be careful. Now, what that's talking about, in my opinion, is if we're being arrogant or cocky or whatever else that we might do that's not necessarily right, and we are offending people by it. We get to be careful with that and not do that. But when you're doing what's right, there's going to be people that will be offended by it. It's just the way it is. You cannot exhibit and display confidence without offending some. But there's going to be others that will be super excited about you growing and developing and being all you can be. And seeing that your confidence is raising up, that's exciting. It's fun to see. It's for a personal growth coach, they get excited about it when they see you moving up. It's a whole lot of fun. It's something that we've realized that this will start to show up in your bank account as well as it shows up in those areas in a good and positive way. It's going to show up and show through your children. It's going to show through your marriage in a very positive way. With that being said, guys, make it a great day. And as always, remember, don't settle for less than who you are. May God bless you.